Welcome back to the Lucky Boy Agency podcast. Today's episode is a little bit different. I'm joined by my co-founder, Jake Ash, and we're going to be talking about viral marketing campaigns, secrets, and success stories. For anyone who owns a brand, there's so much that can be learned from some of the more viral marketing campaigns and strategies that can be implemented on any scale. So welcome, Jake.
Thanks.
What is one viral giveaway that comes to mind?
The craziest giveaway that I've seen a brand do would have to be back in the 90s, Pepsi launched this campaign called Pepsi Points. The idea was simple, like earn points by buying Pepsi and exchange them for different prices. But here's where it got crazy, right? So their ad showed that if you earned 7 million Pepsi points, you were able to redeem it for a fighter jet.
What do you mean a fighter jet?
Like a real military fighter jet. And someone actually followed through, found a way to get points for cheap and tried to buy the jet.
So did they actually get the jet?
Long story short, I think Pepsi said it was a joke and the courts ended up backing them up.
Really?
Yeah, so Pepsi won, but it was a bit of a legal battle for a while. But I think it's still one of the most insane giveaways ever advertised.
You know what I always think about when I think of giveaways is you get a car. Oprah.
Oh, yeah.
Oprah gave her entire audience a free car, which was a massive PR stunt. And it was for a car brand launching their new range. And she literally gave every single person in the audience a brand new car. And that is one of the most viral moments for a few reasons, because obviously that's crazy. And Oprah's known for being super, super generous. What actually happened was it was a collaboration between this car brand who's now gone bust and Oprah to launch the new series. And the new series of this car was heavily shown all throughout the episode. When she gave away all the free cars, obviously everyone's screaming happy. I think the cars were around $28,000 each. And the people in the audience were selected based on people that needed new cars.
Cool.
So that's a really, really exciting, amazing, and very memorable giveaway, right? What people don't know about the you get a car viral Oprah Winfrey giveaway was that every single person in the audience had to pay around $7,000 US tax.
No way. Really?
Yes.
That became her catchphrase. Like everyone knows Oprah.
It's a meme. Yeah.
You get a car.
Yeah.
You get a car.
Yeah. So a lot of the people, when they found out, and apparently the people on the Oprah Winfrey show did not realize that people that were getting the gift had to pay tax on it, but it was still a really, really incredible viral giveaway that I think everyone remembers that.
Yeah.
It was such an amazing moment. It was a global moment.
You know, another cool one that was pretty funny was Burger King's Would You Ditch Your Friends for a Whopper? So this was maybe 10 or 15 years ago in the early days of Facebook, when Facebook was sort of the main social media platform. Burger King asked that exact question. Are you willing to ditch your friends for a Whopper? The deal was simple, right? Delete 10 friends and get a Whopper. But back then, people got notified when you unfriended them.
That's so gnarly.
So all these people are like, why are you unfriending me? And then it's for a Whopper.
As in the Whopper's so good, you ditch your friends for it.
Yeah, that was the idea for the marketing campaign.
It's interesting. It's memorable.
It was, and it worked pretty well. I think like 250,000 people entered it within the first day or two. And Facebook jumped in and went, this is a violation of our policies. We don't want people unfriending each other for your marketing campaign. And they shut it down. It was kind of a win-win for Burger King because they got all this free PR and hype from it and didn't even have to give out any more burgers.
That is a win-win. So talking more along the lines of strategic collaborations.
Yeah, collabs can be an amazing way to leverage your audience, a brand's or another creator or another artist's audience.
Collaborations can be really powerful if they're done right. And I see a lot of really great examples of collaborations being done between brands and influencers and also brands and other brands.
There's lots of different ways that you can do this. Some that come to mind are limited run products or co-branded events, those kind of things that get people's attention for a short time while the collaboration's hot, I think work the best.
Yeah. And I think jumping on trends when they are hot, like a lot of brands did when every single person was watching and rewatching Bridgerton, and Skims jumped on and did a Bridgerton themed campaign. I think trending collaborations can work really well as well.
So what would be sort of, in your opinion, the key things to a good collab?
I think that a good collaboration benefits both parties.
Yeah, finding the right partner.
Yeah, it's important. It's important to find the right partner. And also, I like when brand collaborations are very creative and they don't just look like they are trying to capitalize.
Just putting someone's name in front of a generic product just feels a bit.
In 2024, we can sometimes find collaborations that don't fit right kind of funny, like when everyone's saying, how much did they have to pay Sydney Sweeney to get in an ad campaign for Hey Dudes? Like, it's just not the right fit. And I think that's an example of a brand trying to be relevant and cool and paying the it girl. And the end result is everyone is kind of going, haha, why is Sydney Sweeney wearing Hey Dudes? And it's not really had the desired result for your brand.
That being said, I don't think I'd ever heard of Hey Dudes until this kind of went viral. So sometimes that...
You're not looking at photos of Sydney Sweeney.
I'm not looking to buy a pair because of this. It's probably given me a negative persona of the brand, and it's a bit of a dorky brand. But similar thing, I was walking past in the shopping centre the other day and I saw Harry Kane, which is one of the top footballers in the world, on a Skechers ad. I'm like, you don't wear Skechers. Let's be real. Like, you're not wearing budget-friendly shoes that are comfortable for old men and women. That's not you. Why are you on the front of this? And how much are they paying you? Because you're on like...
I think that's what everyone thinks. How much are they paying you?
Yeah, you're making 300 plus million a year playing football. Like, it's got to be a fair bit to get you to go out and do a photo shoot.
But when you see Nicola Colin starring in a beautiful campaign for Skims, you don't really have that thought. You kind of think, oh, that's a really nice fit.
Yeah, product alignment is key. I think. I
also love when brands collaborate with influencers in a way that you don't even think is a collaboration or a paid collaboration. I think a brand that does really, really well with their marketing across the board is Scrub Daddy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love Scrub Daddy's marketing. And one of the key things that they do is they partner with Clean Talk influencers who their entire page is just dedicated to cleaning, and the main product that they're using is Scrub Daddy, and it's just a really great way to integrate their product. And some of those videos that go really, really, really viral that are all supported by Scrub Daddy are those really big, deep cleans where Clean Talk influencers will come in and they'll clean an entire house for someone who can't take care of it due to being not able to. Maybe they have disabilities, maybe they're having mental health issues, or maybe they're elderly. And someone will come in and do a free clean, which is paid for by Scrub Daddy. And also they get the money from the views, if it's in America, from TikTok. And I just think that is such a really, really clever and not in your face kind of collaboration. And I think it's really successful.
Yeah.
If you're a brand and you're looking to partner or you're looking to start a collaboration, I think about what's trending. But the biggest thing that you should always think about is what aligns with your brand. That should be the absolute number one consideration.
Yeah, that reminds me of an Ed Sheeran and Heinz Ketchup collab, which doesn't sound like a likely collaboration, but Ed is a diehard Heinz Ketchup fan. Like, he loves it, and he has one of their bottles tattooed on his arms. They found out about this and they're like, well, we got to capitalize on this and collaborate with him. So they decided to bring out an Ed Sheeran X Heinz Ketchup bottle and release it through supermarkets.
That's so random.
It's so random, and everyone's like, what the hell? But he wrote and directed a commercial that is basically about how he had the idea to write and direct a commercial for this ketchup brand.
Okay.
And it's just one of those like total left field collaborations that you wouldn't think works, but definitely did. Got some serious virality.
I love Ed Sheeran. There, I said it.
Find the right partner, create a unique hook, get creative, make sure the product aligns, leverage both of your platforms, and build hype throughout the campaign. If it's going to be a limited collaboration, make sure you're capitalizing on it. That leads me to our next thing I want to talk about, which is sometimes any kind of marketing can have a negative effect, whether that's like negative comments or negative PR. Eventually, when you get big enough, you're going to have some sort of negative pushback in some way. And it's not always a bad thing. A lot of brands capitalize on it and turn the negative into something positive. And obviously, if it's something really serious, you've got to be sincere.
Totally. Like you can't be making a joke out of things that are very, very serious.
No, I think in that case, just be open and honest, admit that maybe you've done something wrong, your brand's done something wrong, and just own up to it. People understand. But sometimes when it's a bit more lighthearted, I think you can use it as an opportunity to capitalize off that. The best way to deal with the negativity is just to embrace it and acknowledge it and not just go dark at HQ.
Yeah, like Balenciaga did. They just deleted everything.
Yeah, but that was pretty serious. It
was very serious.
You can't really make lighthearted out of it.
Do you know what happened with the Balenciaga case? Is they ended up putting a lawsuit and suing the production company that shot the content that they released.
Wow.
And they said that they're investigating their approval processes. But yeah, they filed a lawsuit against the company that produced the content when they are the brand that published it.
Being a creative agency and understanding how that process works, especially on that scale, you don't get just free reign to create whatever you want as an agency. Like internal teams are approving what's being put out, what's being all the way,
especially on such a large scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were definitely,
they were looking for a cop out.
Yeah. And I just found, I mean, I don't know what the result is, but I know that they've filed a lawsuit against the production company.
I think if the criticism's valid, own up to it, right? Best case scenario in that situation would be like, this is wrong. Here's what we've done. Going to put some profits towards charities that help. We know we did wrong. Maybe. I don't know. But when it's a little bit more lighthearted, I think owning up to it in a humorous way can have a really positive effect for your brand. One that comes to my mind for me recently was with North Face, when a creator ripped on one of their jackets for being pretty poor quality, when they kind of pride themselves on having some of the best quality jackets out there. This jacket was barely even keeping her dry in a light rain. And the line that she said in her video was that the price of the North Face jacket was so high, it could probably pay for a helicopter ride. And that's where things got wild. Like North Face took that and ran with it. So instead of getting defensive or ignoring it, North Face responded to it, offering to give her a helicopter ride with the purchase of her jacket. So the internet loved it, and soon that negative comment turned into some pretty good free advertising.
That is very smart.
It got a lot of shares around the internet, and eventually I actually think they ended up following through with it and giving her that ride on the helicopter. And that was just another touch point that didn't cost them too much in the scale of things for the reach it got. Because once everyone saw that, they were like, well, here you go. Here's that free helicopter ride with that super expensive jacket that you complained about. Everyone was just like, the meme has evolved. They've followed through. Like,
yeah, just seeing the negative feedback and the negative publicity as an opportunity.
It's very good.
I think there are a lot of brands out there that capitalize on not necessarily negative comments about their brand, but negative perceptions about their industry. For example, there's a massive epidemic of 10-year-olds in Sephora that we've all heard about, with kids as young as 10 or 9 or 8 or younger that are now having full 10-step skincare routines and starting their skincare really, really young, too young, because that's what they see there on their phones, and that's what they're seeing creators their age doing. So one of the campaigns that I absolutely loved, which was, I think came out in April 2023, was from Kiehl's, and it was a skincare campaign, and it was more of a brand campaign, and it was called Kids Should Stay Kids. I hope I'm not butchering that, but essentially it was a campaign that went through it had beautiful photography and slogans like the only face masks a kid should wear. And it was a photo of kids playing in mud. And then another photo was the only anti-aging cream kids should buy. And it was a photo of a little girl eating an ice cream and the ice cream got on her face. One of the other ones was the only exfoliator a kid should use, and a kid was playing in the sand and had sand on their face. And this Kids Should Be Kids campaign was not necessarily marketing their products. It was kind of doing the opposite. And it was saying that kids should just be kids and really capitalizing on that negative connotation that is in the industry. Kids are starting skincare too early. And I just think this is just such a perfect example of brands capitalizing on negative connotations about their industry and turning it around and making it a really positive story for their brand.
That sounds like a perfect example.
Another campaign that I absolutely loved, and this was, I think, last year, and it was for the hair care brand Olaplex, because everyone in this day and age is always looking for dupes. And there was a lot of creators at that time releasing Olaplex dupes. Olaplex, the brand, created a website called Oladupe and actually was paying for paid media campaigns in really prominent beauty magazines, online beauty magazines, saying this is the dupe for Olaplex. And then when you click through to a website called Oladupe, it says you've been duped. Olaplex cannot be duped, and gave you a discount code to then go and buy their product and said this is a product that cannot be duped. And I thought that was really, really clever.
Yeah, so clever. Because so often we see these big corporations as faceless organizations, but when they have that self-awareness, that's when it kind of brings it to a relatable level where you're like, I've just had this touch point with this brand of relatability.
Yep.
And it just really conveys really good connections with your audience and your consumers.
So I think if you're a brand, it's always good to keep in mind if you are having someone copy you, or if you are receiving some negative attention, that maybe this is an opportunity to turn it around and get some really great exposure for your brand. They do say all publicity is good publicity.
Pretty much, most of the time. Should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Cool. Thanks for chatting.
Thank you so much for listening. As always, make sure to hit subscribe. We've got some cool episodes coming up, and if there's something that you're interested in hearing about, drop us a comment. Anyway, thank you for listening.